Someone said, I love my roommate, but I need space. I don't want to do every single thing together, but I feel guilty and rude if I don't invite her everywhere. What do I do? Well, first, I think we need to discuss when it's rude to not include someone and when it's not rude to not include someone. Did that sentence make any sense? I'm not confident that it did. Okay, I'll try again. To start, let's figure out when it's okay not to include someone and when it's not. All right, that was cleaner. Let's go with that. I mean, I think something that is confusing to grasp as you get older is that it's not wrong to not include someone inherently. And growing up, we're kind of taught that everyone needs to be included all the time. Like in school, for example, it's not nice if someone comes up to you and says, hey, can I play with you? And you say, no, I already have my friend group. Go away. Like that's rude, right? And so in the school environment, it's pretty much always kind of mean to exclude someone because you're in an intimate group. Everyone's kind of pushed together into this one space. And if you exclude someone, it's like, it's obvious. And I don't know, we're really trained from a young age to include everyone, and understandably so, because within the context of school, it does sort of make sense to be inclusive, right? But once we're not in elementary school, middle school, high school anymore, and we're in the adult world, it gets a little bit more complicated because it becomes sort of impossible to include everyone all the time. Like, we all have so many different friends from so many different areas of our life. We have work friends. We have friends that we met at school. We have family friends. We have our roommates. We have so many different friends, so many different social circles. And we're also adults now. And we can handle not being invited to stuff much better. And our lives are much more wide, like diversified. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a kid, you're only, well, not for everyone. I mean, but a lot of kids, their only social interaction really is at school. And so everyone kind of has to include each other because that is a child's entire social world. Do you know what I'm saying? But once you become an adult, that world expands. You know, you're an adult who has autonomy. You can drive yourself to go to a coffee shop and you can talk to someone there. You know, your time is being distributed in much more places, meaning that you're having many more social interactions. Do you get what I'm saying? And maybe this is just like me rambling on and on about nothing, but when you're an adult, it's just different. You don't need to just include everyone all the time. And I don't think that that's wrong. We're adults and we can handle it. Like, it's morally okay to go out to lunch with a friend and not invite your roommate. That's totally fine. It is morally okay to go on a hike by yourself and not invite your roommate. It's morally okay to meet up with your friends from high school and go to dinner and not invite your roommate. Like, you don't need to invite your roommate to everything. It's not wrong to not include your roommate in everything. Now, that's not to say, though, that you can't exclude people in a way that's morally wrong as an adult, because I definitely think that you can. But I think as an adult, it comes down to like a blatant disregard for someone else's feelings and a complete act of selfishness. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Okay. Let's say you throw a pregame before a party at your house that you live in with your roommate. Okay. You throw a pregame. You invite a bunch of people. You're having this crazy pregame at your house and your roommate comes home and is like, whoa, what? We're having a party? And then you're like, oh yeah, we're going to this party later. We're pre-gaming. And you don't invite your roommate. That's not very nice. Why? Because you just threw a pregame in your shared space And not only did you not tell them about the pregame, but you also didn't invite them to the party. If you want to go to that party and not invite your roommate, the polite thing to do is to not tell your roommate about the party and to do a pregame elsewhere. If you're not going to include your roommate, then this evening needs to have nothing to do with your roommate. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that is a blatant, disrespectful action that excludes your roommate, but also rubs it in her face that you're going to this party. Do you see what I'm saying? That's not cool. But simply wanting to go to Target, to go shopping by yourself, or maybe with one friend without your roommate, like, that's not wrong. And I know it can be uncomfortable if your roommate is like, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm so bored. I want to go somewhere. And it's uncomfortable to be like, oh, I'm going to run some errands. And they're like, oh my God, can I come? And you're like, honestly, like, I just need to do this. Like, that's uncomfortable. That sucks. That actually sucks. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with it. And you're not doing anything wrong. It sounds like to me that there's a chance that you might be a bit of a people pleaser, because I know that there are some people out there who have no problem not inviting their roommate with them everywhere. Like, that's not necessarily a universal challenge. Some people do not give a fuck and will be like, no, I'm going to do this alone. Bye. See you. Like, some people do not care. And other people, like you and me, are people pleasers and are afraid of causing upset. The reason why you want to invite your roommate everywhere is not because you actually want your roommate with you all the time. It's because you're afraid that if you don't, your roommate will catch you doing stuff without her, and then she'll get angry at you, and then now you have drama. And that's what you're afraid of. You don't want drama. You want everyone to like you, and you want everyone to be happy, and you want everyone to feel comfortable. And listen, in a lot of ways, that's a beautiful thing. But also in a lot of ways, that's an unsustainable and kind of miserable existence. And you know what's funny too, is that people pleasers tend to convince themselves that if they don't shower everyone with love and kindness, even if deep down they want to confront about something, or, you know, they want to stand up for themselves, they feel like if they aren't just a bundle of love and sunshine at all times, that absolute chaos will ensue and the world will explode, and it's terrifying to people pleasers to rock the boat at all. But what I think is funny, as someone who has been a people pleaser, is still kind of a people pleaser, but is working on it and is getting better at it, I've learned over time that that is so irrational. Like, the way that people pleasers think is very irrational, because a lot of times, by just existing naturally and authentically and genuinely, you know, inviting people when you want to invite them, confronting people when they need to be confronted, rocking the boat when the boat needs to be rocked sometimes, it's never that bad. Like, nothing that bad ever comes of it. And if anything, it's actually a relief to be living more honestly. It's a freer, more enjoyable way of life. And I also think too that people actually tend to respect you more if you're not a people pleaser. If you have boundaries and you stick to them, if you speak up when you're thinking something or feeling something, people respect that. They don't respect somebody who just says yes to everything and, yeah, come with me, of course. Like, but people don't respect that. So it's just kind of ironic to me, because I was such a people pleaser. I put myself in so many uncomfortable situations, inviting people to things just because I was too scared for them to find out that I did something without them, even though I didn't really want to invite them because it didn't really make sense, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. I've put myself in so many situations like that unnecessarily out of fear. And when I stopped doing that, nothing bad happened. Like, at worst, there might be a little bit of tension that then gets resolved through conversation, but that's the worst case scenario. And that's not that bad. So if this rings true to you and you think the reason that you're inviting your roommate everywhere is because you're a people pleaser, here's my advice on how to stop being a people pleaser. Practice makes perfect, okay? It's going to feel forced at first, but you need to act upon your instincts, your intuition. If you don't want to invite someone somewhere, don't invite them. And it's not going to feel good. You're going to be scared. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel anxious. It's not going to be fun, but do it anyway. And then the next time something comes up where you want to people please, maybe your friend makes a joke about you that's rude. Instead of laughing and pretending that it's all okay, do the scary thing, do the uncomfortable thing and say, okay, that was too far. You can still be a bit tongue-in-cheek about it. You don't need to be like, hey, what? Why would you say that? Like, you don't have to make it dramatic. You don't have to you can still, keep it light, but be like, all right, too far. Again, it's not embarrassing to be like, that's where I draw the line. Like, in order to put people in check, you don't need to be so upset and so hurt that you're like crying. In fact, it's better to put people in their place when you're like, all right, that wasn't cool, but I don't really care. Like, it's not that deep, but that just wasn't cool. And I'm not going to just laugh about it because they shouldn't get away with it. I'm just going to, put them in check a little bit, plant the seed. Not going to rip them a new one necessarily. That's not always necessary. And that can be overkill. But you see what I'm saying? Practice that. Practice not saying yes all the time, not including everyone all the time unnecessarily to preserve everyone's feelings while overwhelming your own. Practice not being a people pleaser, and eventually you'll realize, number one, nothing that bad ever happens. And number two, you feel better because you're not living a lie. Being a people pleaser is living a lie. You're laughing at jokes that hurt your feelings. You're inviting people to things when you don't really want them there. You're around people you don't want to be around. You're saying yes when you want to say no. It sucks and you're living a lie and it's miserable. So practice not doing that. And then as you feel the rewards from that, you'll be more motivated to continue living that way. That's what's happened to me anyway. Like, it's sort of this, I don't know if this is the right term, but it does kind of feel like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like at first you're faking it, but then at a certain point it becomes real and you're just not a people pleaser anymore because it feels so good to not be a people pleaser anymore that then you just naturally stop. Is that a self-fulfilling prophecy? I don't know. But of course, you should still hang out with your roommate sometimes. You should include your roommate whenever it makes sense. But it's okay to have moments where you're like, I really don't want to right now. And to stand firm by that, that's a boundary. And if your roommate notices and is like, wait, what's going on? Like, you used to invite me to everything and now you're not. You could say, honestly, I love you. I enjoy our time together. We have so much fun. But also, I feel like we need to have separate lives. We need to kind of do our own thing sometimes for the health of our relationship. Like, it's not healthy to do everything with each other. So I'm just, creating a bit more space for the sake of our friendship. And, I hope you can understand that because I do love you and I do appreciate you and you are awesome and it's not personal. It's just, this is a boundary I need to set because I want our friendship to be balanced and long lasting. And if your roommate can't handle that, that's their issue because you're not doing anything wrong. And if you communicate that upon confrontation, you've done everything you can do and you can sleep at night knowing that you're not doing anything wrong.